What's going on, guys? JPB Duo here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, we have a Prank Kids versus a Dragon Lynx, with my opponent playing Dragon Lynx going first. Now, if you guys look at my starting hand, I did start with Lancia going second, and especially in this meta, guys, it does not matter if you're playing Prank Kids or any other deck list out there. If you do start with Lancia in your hand, preemptively pop the Artifact Lancia, because in this meta, there are so many major tier 1, tier 2 deck lists that rely on banishing cards from the field or from the graveyard or from their hand to make a combo extension happen. So if your Lancia resolves, even if the opponent can combo, what ends up happening is that they usually do a partial combo, which is easily breakable with cards that you may start with. So I tried to preemptively pop the Lancia. Sadly, the opponent did have a Call by the Grave in his hand. Gets negated. That's okay. Now we just wait and see how the opponent combos. Now, I did check the opponent's list. He was running 60 cards list. And in this meta, if you see a 60 card list, you generally assume it's a D-Lynx player. But there are other decks that do run 60 cards list as well. I've been running into Infernoids lately as well. Even I've been running into Drytrons or Adamancipators, so can't be too sure because Adamancipator players do need to banish cards for their Block Dragon as well. Then he shows me he's playing Dragon Lynx. When you see the Black Metal Dragon come up, you know it's Dragon Lynx. He goes into Striker, Striker Chainlink 1, the Metal Chainlink 2, it's going to resolve. He's going to get the Red Eyes Darkness into his hand, and the Striker will search him for the Boot Sector launch. After this, he's going to do the Baby White combo. He's going to banish out the Black from the grave, get the Baby White, go into the Dragoonty Knight, and then he's going to Chainlink 1 the Romulus, and then Chainlink 2 the Baby White in the graveyard. Now guys, a little bit of a tip for you guys over here. If you think your opponent is bricked in his hand, or they have a bad hand, or they do a combo that somehow gives you the information that they have a pretty bad hand, if you guys have an Imperm or Veiler in your hand, I suggest you Imperm or Veiler the Romulus, because if they do not get the Dragon Ravine search off, sometimes, I'm not saying always, but sometimes it might just stop their combo right then and there. So with this, we don't have it, so obviously it's going to resolve. He's going to get the Baby Dark in his hand, and Romulus will search him for the Dragon Ravine. At this point, the opponent will activate Dragon Ravine, and he's going to pitch the Absorautor from his hand, and he's going to pitch Levineer from his deck. Absorautor is going to activate, search him for the Rocket Tracer. Then he's going to activate the Boot Sector launch, activate Boot Sector, put the Recharger plus Tracer on the field. He's going to pop the field spell, get the Rocket Synchron, and then he goes into the Chaos Dragon. Chaos Ruler, excuse me. Chaos Ruler will excavate in the top 6 cards, and he adds into his hand a Psyframe Gear Gamma. Now, don't ask me why. Do not know why he added Psyframe Gear Gamma, but okay. He pitches every other card into the graveyard. Then he goes off. I was not expecting this, by the way. He goes off into the Hard Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This guy is building up an insane board for me to maybe I could even go through. Then he puts the Baby Dark. He's going to activate Chaos Space from the grave, target the Baby White. He's going to draw a card, and he's going to grass me. He's going to grass and mill a couple different cards. And the card that he milled, which I think was the worst mill for me, but the best mill for the opponent, was the Starleech Seyfert. So he's going to activate the Starleech Seyfert from the graveyard, banish it, get the Levineer back into his hand. This Levineer can now rip a card from my hand because it can banish both light and dark. So you guys see right here, he did, I believe, both light and dark banish. Hold on, let me just double check it real quick. Yes, sir, he did both light and dark banish. So he's going to rip one card from my hand, which is so unfortunate. Sorry, he did only dark banishes. Only the dark banish rips one card from the opponent. My bad, excuse me. He did the dark banishes, so he rips one card from my hand. He's going to banish out 2, get the Chaos Ruler back on the field. And then he's going to go off into a Zombie Vampire. This card can send the top 3 cards of both your deck and your opponent's deck to the graveyard after detaching a material from itself. So that's exactly what the opponent will do. He's going to detach the Chaos Ruler. He's going to have 3 cards pitched, and if you send a monster with this pitch, you can special summon one of those monsters on the field. So he chooses Ash Blossom for the summon. Then he goes into Striker Dragon, and he's going to activate Baby Dark from the graveyard, activate the Baby White. Then he is going to go off into a Nightmare Unicorn. So as you guys know, this setup does go into Borland. You guys are pretty familiar with it. Then he goes off into the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Red Eyes Darkness Metal will Monster Reborn a monster from the graveyard, which he selects as the Chaos Ruler, and he has enough materials to go into this Borland Dragon. This guy took this long to get this combo done. Now, this whole time, this guy, in game time, I believe it took close to 3.5 to 4 minutes to make this full combo happen. And what he ended up with, he ended up with a negate plus any negate. So any card on the field negate plus a monster negate, and that's it. That's what he ended his field on, which was pretty surprising to me. Like, that is all you end up on after doing a combo for 4 minutes? Bro. So with that, in our draw phase, we end up drawing into an Ash Blossom. Now, you guys might be thinking, Jay, how can this hand allow you to go into your combo and push past this field? Well, let me tell you, this guy already knows I play Prank Kids because the cards he milled with the Vampire, he already knows he milled out my 3 copies I need for the Butler. So he knows I play Prank Kids. Now, here's the thing. If I activate Place and he negates the place with the Heart Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, we lose the game. There is no coming back from that. But generally, and when I say generally, I mean I believe Diamond and up, even in Plat, people still Ash Blossom the Prank Kids Place search or negate the Prank Kids Place search. So Diamond and up, people usually do not negate the Prank Kids Place search. So I activate my Prank Kids Place, he allows it to go through. So that means I get my combo starter card in my hand. We're going to normal out the card, we're going to start link climbing. Now all of our activations are from the graveyard, so that means neither of these cards are able to negate our graveyard activations. We go full ham. We have Chain Block for our first graveyard activation as well, so the opponent cannot Ash Blossom our first graveyard activation. And if the opponent had Maxi, I had Ash Blossom for the Maxi, so I was good in that regard as well. We get a Fansies on the field, we go into our Doodle-Doo. Now, granted, I know for a fact this Doodle-Doo will be negated. He's not going to allow this Doodle-Doo surge to go through. And I was expecting it. I was hoping for the opponent to negate this card. So with that, he uses the Borland Dragon's effect to negate my Doodle-Doo search, and he puts the Rocket Tracer on the field. That's okay with me. We got a 1 interruption from our opponent. Now the only card we need to worry about is the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. That's the only card's negate we have to worry about at this point. So we have to pitch a Pranks with this. If your Doodle-Doo search gets negated, always pitch Pranks, because you are going to go through 2 copies of Doodle-Doos and you need to fish the Pranks back from the grave into your hand. So with that, I go into my second copy of Doodle-Doo, activate Dropsies, we're going to special out Roxy's. We're going to activate Doodle-Doo. Now, this was a extreme heartbeat moment, because think about this. If he uses the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss to negate out my Doodle-Doo, that means we just go off into Predaplan Verte, go into Butler, and Butler comes in the field with 3.5k attack. We whack into this card's gone, and for next turn we have Skill Drain, we win the game. So this guy is now holding on to his other negate for some important play that I will make. So with that, I get my Pranks plus my copy of Fansies in my hand. Now again, guys, if at this point he used this card to negate out my Prank Kids Pranks, we would have lost the game. That would have been game over right then and there. But he chooses to let this go through. He's not negating it. He allows me to get my token. This token goes off into Bow Wow Bark. So we activate Roxy's. I'm going to banish out the copy of Ash from my hand because, again, we need to, for against the opponent, he does not have Maxi, and Ash becomes a dead card in my hand. I would rather banish out the Ash Blossom over the Nemesis Corridor, because Nemesis Corridor can recycle my banished out Lancia or my Ash, and then I go into my Colossus. Colossus allows me to card search lock my opponent, and also I get to kill off the zombie vampire off of the field if I wanna. So with this, we activate Corridor, we put our Corridor on the field, and we go off into our Nightmare Unicorn. Now again, guys, I cannot go into Predaplan, Verte, Anaconda right here, right now. Because if I go into Verte, this card's negate is still up. He could use it to negate it. So we have to play smart. We have to force out the Abyss's negate. And the best way to do that is to go into Nightmare Unicorn first. And since we put the Corridor on the field, we can use the Corridor because it is an effect monster to go into Verte after we force out the Abyss's negate on the Unicorn. Now keep in mind, Abyss does not destroy a card. It only negates the card. So we'll still have materials on the field. So I pitch the Corridor and it's going to negate out by Unicorn, and I'm okay with that. Obviously, with the Unicorn, we do target out the Abyss to force out the Abyss negate. And at this point, we say, we are finally done with all the interruptions. Now we can go off into our Predaplan, Verte, Anaconda, and use the Verte Anaconda to go off into our Butler. That is exactly what I do. Butler comes in the field with face-up attack. It goes up to 3.5k because we are going into a Prankis Fusion, and that right there means that this card cannot beat over our Butler anymore. Even though this card is immune to destruction through battle, he still has much more stuff on the field we can beat over. So obviously, the card we want to beat over is the Abyss, so we're just going to kill off the Abyss. I'm going to set down my skill drain for my opponent's turn, and we're going to recycle our cards with Prank Hits Pranks. Now keep in mind, since I know for a fact I am going to activate Skill Drain instantly because I do not want this guy negating my Butler, I am going to end up recycling my Meowth. So that way, if I do draw into a Prankis combo starter card, I will be able to full go combo. So with that, the opponent activates, he draws a card on his turn, draws into a Chamber Dragon Maid, I suppose. Normals are the Chamber Dragon Maid. Now this card says if this card is normal or special, you can add one spell trap from Dragon Maid spell trap from your deck to your hand, which is usually the changeover, and they use the changeover to go into a Shiyu, which is their Omni Negate. So I do not want that to go through, and this is precisely the reason why we had to kill the Hard Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. That card's effect is a quick effect, so they can chainlink that card's effect to Skill Drain's activation, and Skill Drain would be negated for this full turn. That is the whole reason why we killed off that card over any other card on the field. Skill Drain now becomes active. Every single card on the opponent's side and my side is negated, but as you guys know, Prankis can play under Skill Drain easy. His Boral End Dragon is at 3k attack. That means he can now whack over our Butler. Now, since this guy added a card to his hand, we just outright Druid Logbird him. With that, he tries to activate the Zombie Vampire. Again, it's negated, so he goes off into battle phase, whacks into my Predaplan, Verte Anaconda, and then he ends his turn. This is the helplessness that a player feels when Skill Drain is active. The biggest floodgates a Prankis player does play, and I feel so good about this in this meta. Even though it sucks for the other player, but again, he went first, he had the interruptions, and he messed up his combo completely. He could have gotten so many more interruptions on the field if he played right, but no. He ended up with only 2 interruptions. So draw phase, we draw into Twin Twister, so we activate Thunder Dragon Fusion, we banish it, we search for a copy of Fancies. Fancies normal, we start going off into our combo. We go into Meowth, activate Fancies, we're going to Chain Block again. This way, all his cards lose 500 attack again. Boral Dragon goes down to 2.5k. Keep in mind, it starts off with 3.5k, now it's at 2.5k. So with this, we chain block with our Doodle-Doo. Even though Doodle-Doo is negated, it's a good habit to use the chain block in case the opponent does have Ash Blossom. Burn him for 5, activate Doodle-Doo, tribute the Doodle-Doo, target Pandemonium plus Fancies, add them to our hand, and then we're going to set down Pandemonium. I'm even going to activate Pranks, get a token. We're going to Pandemonium, go off into Rocket Ride. So, my bad. This play is specifically targeted towards boosting up our own cards as well. So Butler now goes up to 4k attack, and the Rocket Ride comes in the field with 2.5k attack. So we could start killing even more cards on the opponent's side. With that, we go into battle phase. I whack him in the face for 4k, and then, to be honest, don't get me wrong, I had lethal right here, because Skill Drain's active on the field, this card's effect is negated. If I activate Butler, and Butler would pop his whole field, and then Rocket Ride could whack him in the face directly for 2.5k, and the opponent was at 2.2k, that was lethal. But I did not see it at that point, and I just whacked his other card, and I let it go. With that, we activate our Rocket Ride, pull out the Doodle-Doo plus the Bow Wow, set down Twin Twister, and our turn. Activate Pranks, recycle Meowmoo again, and the reason to put the Bow Wow on the field is because I wanted to make my own monsters immune to destruction through card effects. In case the opponent draws into a Raigeki or something, we would be immune to card destruction effects. So draw phase, we activate the Bow Wow, target 2 cards, add them to our hand. Opponent activates Dragon Maid Tidying to special out a dragon monster on the field, which I'm okay with. That does not matter. Even the chamber comes on the field, it's still negated. Skill Drain active means he cannot do anything with any of that. So main phase 1, he links off into an IP Mask, again a dead card. Then he does the Baby White combo, by bash 1, sets down 1 card, ends his turn. Now guys, another big thing to know about this game is that the Imperm's interaction with Skill Drain. This card guaranteed is an Imperm. With the way the opponent set down the card, it was Imperm. And what happens is that if your opponent has Skill Drain active on the field, or if you use Veiler on a card and that card's negated, you cannot Imperm an already negated card. So if Skill Drain becomes active on the field, every face-up monster on the field is negated. That means Imperm cannot even be flipped over. You cannot even flip over Imperm because every single monster on the field is negated. That's how stupid the interaction is. So this card is a dead card on my opponent's side. He's thinking he will get another turn. That's why he puts so many monsters on the field. But again, so I'll just show you guys. I wanted to confirm this. So I wanted to show you guys that this card is Imperm. That's the whole reason why I activate Twin Twister, even though I have lethal this turn itself. So we pop it, and as you guys see, that card was Imperm. He set it in the same column as Skill Drain, but again, you cannot even flip over that card if Skill Drain is face-up active on the field. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description stuff for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!